Hi, it's Lisa here with today's Thursday Live. Oh, goodness. Let me turn that sound off. Did that help? There we go. Okay, so sorry about the little echo there. We're back today with another card from the Waves of Inspiration stamp set. I've been using this set all week. It's a little something I'm trying to do different to show you guys how our sets can be used differently, because people look at them and think, okay, I can make 1 or 2 cards out of that, but they don't realize the extent that we can go with each of our stamp sets. So that's my plan. Hi, Peggy. Thanks for joining me. Make sure that you type in hashtag prize patrol. That's going to be the way that you get a chance at winning today's card. So what we're working with is the Waves of Inspiration stamp set with the matching waves dies, and then I've also got my layering circles dies here. And I'm making this card here. Hi, Janet, Melinda. Thank you. I hope you guys like that I'm adding an extra day to give you guys some extra ideas. And we're making this card today. And it looks kind of complicated, but I promise you it's not. And I'm going to show you how easy it is. Now, we're just going to start out with a standard card base. I did Knight of Navy. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have another layer of Knight of Navy that is 4 inches and 5 1/4. And then a white of that size, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I use this layering vellum. And what I did was I took all 3 layers before the circle was cut out of it, and I stacked them on front of the card. Come on. Sorry, I'm going to try to get this banner out of my way so you guys can see more. Okay, so when I stacked them on the card, they didn't have the hole in them yet. And I just stacked all 3 together, and I ran it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine forward and then backward, and it went through all 3 layers. So now I have the circle in the same spot. That was important because I want to be able to put this on here and have my border be the right size. And then I'm going to put the porthole over the top. So because this is vellum, we know that glue might show. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my adhesive around that hole to adhere it. Oops. So see how you can see that? I mean, it's not too bad. Once it dries, it's not going to be bad, but we don't want to see glue, right? We want to see the card. So I took the same circle that I had cut the middle out of, and then I went 2 sizes bigger. So I have the 2 circles, and I laid that on the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and it cut out a ring. So obviously I have the brown soft suede ring circle from the middle, but I set that aside for another card, and I'm just using the outer ring. And so that's going to go on here and cover that up. I have heard of people using vellum adhesives. I personally have not found one that didn't show somewhat. No more than the seal shows. But I tend to place my stuff underneath. So like I said, that's going to go underneath the porthole. And then I have some more is going to go underneath our sentiment. So it's good and attached. I mean, that's not going anywhere. Okay, then I took the waves dies. So there's 2 of them. There's one that's got kind of a flat side to it and one that's a little more rounded. And I cut 1 of each. So those are here. And you can see they're long. They're meant to go down here on the bottom, but I wanted them to be in the center of my porthole. So if you were like in the cabin and you were looking out, you would see the waves outside. So I did that by adhering them on the inside. And I'm going to use some tear-in tape on either side. And I know they're long, and that's fine because it's going to adhere the cover-up panel on there anyway. Okay, so here is my first one. So I'm positioning it to where the arch is in the circle where I want it to be. And the second one's going to lay right over the top. Now I told you they're too long. That's fine. We're going to take our snips and we're going to just snip that off. And then we're going to add some more adhesive, and this is going to go over the top, and it's going to hide all of those edges. So you're not going to see them. You're only going to see the waves. So let's go ahead and put some more adhesive. I'm just using the liquid glue because I happen to have it out. Any adhesive will work. But then you're just going to set this down right over the top of the other hole and align them like they were when we cut them out. And so see, now you're not going to see that Night of Navy from the inside, and you're not going to see the white from this side. So now the porthole I did in soft suede, and we could put it on just like that, but I thought it needed a little bit of wood texture. And so I just kind of looked through my stamps, and I happened to have this wood right here. And so I thought I would use this one. Of course, I don't have the right size block, but we'll make do. So I have my soft suede ink. So I just went around keeping my planks this direction, and it gave me a wood texture on my ring. So it's not a lot, but I think it just gives it a little something, which I liked. And then we can go ahead and put that on with the liquid glue as well. Now there's metallic dots that would look fantastic as the, what would you call them? They're not really screws, but the pieces that hold it in place. So what I did is I used diamonds or rhinestones. And then I just used a Stampin' Blend to color them. Did you all know that we do have rhinestones in various colors, but if you don't happen to have the color that you need, you can easily just go over them with the Stampin' Blends. Now this will not work with the Stampin' Write markers. It has to be the blends. It's the alcohol ink that allows it to stick. It also works with Sharpies if you happen to have a Sharpie marker in the house. And then I need my take your pick tool, which I do not see. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm just going to place them top and bottom. and then the two sides. And then I'm going to go in between those. And that's going to give you my rivets. That's the word I was looking for, rivets all the way around. The Stampin' Blends will also color our ribbon. If you happen to have the white crinkle ribbon and you wanted it another color, you can color it with the Stampin' Blends. There we go. So there's our porthole. Now I wanted my sentiment to go right here. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive. Right there. This one, because it's more opaque, we can really see that. I did it on our regular vellum and we did not see it so much. So I guess it kind of depends on the vellum. Okay, so I had that die cut out. There we go. So that's what's going to go here. And I wanted to put the happy birthday on it, so I have that on a block. Grab some Night of Navy ink. And then it's just a little added something. I went ahead and grabbed some of our Starry Sky metallic ribbon. And I'm just going to have it feed through both ends. I've got it too long, but that's fine. I'm better with having it too long and just cutting it off. And then I'm going to adhere it with dimensionals. So the minis work under this perfectly. And we can also take and just put a little bit, just a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit of seal just to hold that in place. And then we can use our dimensionals. So there's the front of our card. Now we're ready to do the inside. So for that, I have this 4" by 5 1/4 piece of basic white cardstock. And then you'll notice my swirl here of the waves. It's in multiple colors. And I did that by inking up our wave stamp with the light color first. So I'm going to bring in some Pool Party. And these larger stamps, I find it easier to ink them upside down. I can see where I'm going. And even when I'm going to try to place it, in the corner, sometimes it's easier to just set it on top of there and press down so that I know I'm not getting this blank section on the side, because I've stamped this wave a lot this last week. And sometimes I get, I don't quite get to the edge, but I found if I take the paper to the stamp and then just, maybe put a piece of binder paper over the top if you're worried about getting your fingers inky, and then rub it on, that works really well. But I'm going to bring in some other colors. Just for some accents. So I'm bringing in Coastal Cabana. I'm going to use my sponge dauber, and I'm going to give it just a little bit of, Now, I did learn not to just go straight down. That was giving me circles. I don't necessarily want circles. I just want to leave a little bit of ink in another color. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to be able to position that wave behind my die cut waves. So I do that by placing this layer inside my card, positioning where it would go. So I have my border. Then I'm going to close the card and just lightly use a pencil to show myself where that wave is in here. And then I'm going to try to position this over the top. Now it's better if you look straight down from the top. I'm trying to keep my head out of the camera, but you'll get what I mean. And then I can go back and erase where my little marks were. And there's my wave. And so that's going to align with the waves on the outside. See, so who thinks that's easier than they thought it was going to be? I had some girls come to class on Tuesday, and we made this card as one of the 3 that we do in person. And they all looked at it and went, oh my gosh, how are we ever going to do that? But I showed them how simple it is, and they were really excited. So I'm using a little Sahara sand and one of our stamping sponges. And I'm using the stamping sponge because it's, I don't want to say more airy, but it's not as dense as our sponge daubers are. And I'm not getting that circle. And it's just kind of lighter. It's not as dark. And I kind of like that. I mean, it looks like the sand is coming up to the ocean. That's what we wanted, but we can improve on that a little by coming in with some Night of Navy cardstock, and I'm going to make a real skinny piece. So just a little bit, and I'm going to lay that right over the top. And I like how that gives it just kind of a definition and a pop. So all I need to do is put a little liquid glue down. I'm excited about next week. Next week, we're going to be using the Brewed For You stamp set. And I got it because I was excited. My dad used to make beer and wine, and people went, you know, it's a set about beer. I don't need that many cards about beer. Maybe I make 1 or 2, but I don't need that many. I'm not making all beer. Yes, that's what it was intended to, but I turned it into lemonade. I turned it into root beer. I turned it into wine. So you want to hang tight and trust me that this stamp set does more than we think it does. And Janet, I don't know if you've seen yet, but I just posted a reel before I went live that had the mirror stamping. You had asked me about how to flip the pelican the other direction. So I have uploaded my reel to Instagram, and I think I put it on my Facebook page. But I've got a full-length YouTube video. I mean, full length, we're talking, a few minutes. But I'm going to put that on YouTube when we're done. So you will have a full video on how to do mirror stamping. And I did not mention, but we're using the Stamparatus, and I stamped onto the silicone mat. and then I put my paper over it to pick up the ink from the mat. But if I had left it in position and then closed it once again and inked the pelican on the back side, that is where you would lay your die cut. And so it would cut it out both ways. So if you're looking to die cut it, that's how you do it. I did not mention that in my video. I meant to. So we just may have to do some mirror stamping on a card. I also did a video on hinge stamping. And those will go up this afternoon. And so there we go. There's our porthole card. Now, you all put in Prize Patrol, right? I only see 4 up there. Type in hashtag Prize Patrol, and I'm going to get ready and spin since we're done. And also this afternoon, I have been packaging up the new catalogs. So these are headed out. If you have placed an order with me recently, you will be getting these automatically. If you have not and you need a demonstrator and a new catalog, you can always go to my blog at queenbeecreations.net, and there is a spot on there where you can request a catalog and I will mail one out. I just need your address. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So here is our Prize Patrol drawing. And there we go. Johanna is our winner. So congratulations. Good thing you love it, because it's going to show up in your mailbox just as soon as you go to the claim form and fill out. Again, I need your address in order to mail it to you, but go to queenbeecreations.net/prize patrol and fill in your address there, and I will get that card in the mail to you. Come back next week. Like I said, we're using the Brood for You. Let's see, let's remove that. And that's going to be this set right here. And I haven't decided exactly what card we're going to do yet, but here, look, I made it wine. And then I made it root beer. Oh, and I didn't grab the lemonade. But then I also made lemonade. So one of those will be our video for next Monday. And then I'm going to think of some kind of fun fold we'll do on Thursday. But make sure you come back and play, because we're going to have some fun. In the meantime, you can shop at my blog, queenbeecreations.net, and you want to make sure that you are subscribed and you have your notifications on so that you know when I go live again. Thanks for joining me. Bye.